So I'm now going to present my closing arguments because I do want to make videos about Israel-Palestine. That's why I come here.
No, I don't
and then
know
I'll give
about
you
it.
the closing words.
Okay.
So
Go ahead.
my closing argument is centuries before Muhammad came along, the Jewish people were reading from the Torah that we have today. Jews that have been apart for thousands of years, when they were reunited, they looked at the scrolls that they were reading from and they were identical. We have scrolls like the Dead Sea Scrolls that are over 2,000 years old. We have other fragments of older scrolls, even older than that have the same words that we have in the Torah today. So from a Jewish perspective, we have physical artifacts of what we say the Torah was, that go back long before Muhammad. Now Muhammad Shaikh, his argument is actually the book that was given to Musa sallallahu alaihi wasallam wasn't the Torah, but was Al-Kitab, which is the Quran that the Muslims read today. There is not one physical artifact. We have dozens of artifacts, dozens and dozens of ancient artifacts which reinforce what we're saying, that the Torah that the Jews read today was the Torah that the Jews read in the time of Muhammad, and the Torah that they wrote in the time of the Prophet. Sheikh Muhammad.
I will talk about it. You whatever you want to say.
2 minutes and then Sheikh Muhammad, his only evidence is circular. He's saying, the way I read the Quran, I've reached this conclusion. And there is no physical evidence at all. There's nothing other than what gentleman here is saying to support the idea that the Jews were given this book, that Musa was given this book, that Ibrahim was given this book, all the prophets were given this book, and even more disturbingly, that before Muhammad, all of the people in the world, or lots of people in the world, were memorizing this book, yet they didn't write it down. It's not written down anywhere, but the Torah is written all over. We have many Sifrei Torah where we have it written down, what we believe and not what you're saying, sir.
Okay, now
I'm closing words. Yeah.
Where is the book preserved? The preservation of the book. Surah 7 and Ayah 145. What is Alwah, the tablets? وَكَتَبْنَا لَهُ فِي الْأَلْوَاحِ مِنْ كُلِّ شَيْءٍ مَوْعِظَةٍ وَتَفْصِيلًا لِكُلِّ شَيْءٍ فَخُذْهَا بِقُوَّةٍ وَأْمُرْ قَوْمَكَ يَأْخُذُوا بِأَحْسَنِهَا سَأُرِيكُمْ دَارَ الْفَاسِقِينَ. And we wrote for him, that is Moses, in the Alwah, the tablets, sermon for everything, explanation or detail for everything. So hold fast to it with strength and order your people that they should hold it beautifully. Soon I will show you the circle of the fasiqun, the liberals. Now in this again Allah said, in the Alwah, the tablet, we wrote for him, Moses, the tablets, in the tablets. Now the tablet, according to the Bible, is a tablet of stones that Moses brought, and then he threw them and they all were broken into pieces. But in the Quran, this tablet is not mentioned what material this tablet was. Allah wrote in the tablet. Allah wrote in the tablets, right? وَكَتَّبْنَا لَهُ فِي الْأَلْوَاحِ. Allah wrote in the tablets. He said, we wrote in the tablets. مِن كُلِّ مَوْعِدَةٍ, every sermon of everything. وَتَفْصِيلًا لِكُلِّ شَيْءٍ, and detail of everything. And then he says, فَخُذْهَا بِقُوَّةٍ. You, Moses, you hold fast to it. What? The Alwah, the tablet. And now further he says, وَأْمُرْ قَوْمَكَ, and say to your people, not the Jews. I'm not talking about the Jews. I'm talking about the believers of Muslims, submitters to Allah, are the holding fast this Torah or this Alwah, where? in our heart and mind. May not understand anything, but the preservation of the book is where? In the hearts and minds, human will say in the hearts and minds of different nationalities, of different language of the people of the world. But Allah has given the word is a tablet. Tablets. Like you say in the computer is a hard disk, because computer is a copycat of a brain. So it says further, Bal huwa Qur'anun Majid fi lawhim mahfuz. This is a reading honorable. Reading honorable. It is preserved in a tablet. In a preserved tablet. In a preserved tablet. And where the Imam reads in the Tarawih, from where? From the tablet.
And I'm not saying another word.
Thank you very much. Look, in the Quran, there is an ayah in Surah Ma'idah 44. Inna anzalna Torah fiha hudan wa nur yahkumu biha an-nabiyyuna alladhina aslamu. Only we have revealed the Torah. So now, Ma'idah, Al-Ma'idah 5. Inna anzalna Torah fiha hudan wa nur yahkumu biha an-nabiyyuna alladhina aslamu للذين هادوا والربانيون والأحبار بما استحفظوا من كتاب الله وكانوا عليه شهداء فلا تخشوا الناس واخشون ولا تشتروا بآياتي ثمنا قليلا ومن لم يحكم بما أنزل الله فأولئك هم الكافرون. Again you will notice, surely we is the first person Allah, royal we have revealed the Torah 2 times. Inna, surely we, definitely we. Anzalna, we have revealed the Torah. The law, in it is guidance and light. Now in the Bible is the first 5 books. Genesis, Exodus, Leviticus, and Numbers, and Deuteronomy. And people say that is the Torah. Here Allah said that we have revealed the Torah. We have revealed, definitely 2 times, we have revealed the Torah. In it is guidance and light. Yahkum biyan nabiyun. The prophets governed by it. Alladhina aslamu, those who submitted. Lilladhina hadu, for the hadu, the Jews. And the Rabbani, the lords. And the ahbar, the scholars. Bimastufizu min kitabillah. They were made to memorize the preserve. They have to memorize, preserve the book of Allah. And they were the witnesses. So Torah was supposed to be, were meant to be memorized by the mankind. It's in the ayat. So people have memorized it and they don't know where is the Torah. Here is bimustufizu min kitabillah. With what they were made to memorize, preserve from the Kitab, book of Allah, bimustufizu min kitabillah wa kanu alayhi shuhada, and they were the witnesses. So now in the Torah, Allah says, we have revealed the Torah. The prophets governed, the Rabbaniun governed, the Ahbar governed for the Hadu, for the Jews, and they were made to memorize the book of Allah. From this book of Allah, the Torah was to be memorized. And now it is memorized, but still people are looking where the Torah is, looking into Bible. The Torah word is not mentioned in the Quran with Moses. But however, it mentions, I read the words Torah, it says, Yahkum bin Nabiyun al-Ladhi. So Musa was a Nabi. So Torah was governed by the prophets, including Musa, peace be upon him, and all the other prophets, and Muhammad as the seed of the prophets. So Torah was governed by the prophets. It is not exclusively mentioned with Moses anywhere in the Quran. 136 times Musa al-Islam name is mentioned. Oh, name, not the events, name. And 18 times is mentioned Torah. So nowhere Allah says Musa got the Torah. The biblical words say 5 books of the Genesis, Exodus, Leviticus, Numbers, and Deuteronomy, they say that is the Torah. But we read in the Quran that Allah revealed the Torah. Definitely. It is guidance and light. Then he said, فَلَا تَخْشَوُا النَّاسَ وَاخْشَوْنِ. Do not fear them, but fear me. وَلَا تَشْتَرُوا بِآيَاتِي ثَمَنًا قَلِيلًا. And do not purchase my ayat with small little price. And then for he said, وَمَنْ لَمْ يَحْكُمْ بِمَا أَنزَلَ اللَّهُ فَأُولَٰئِكَ هُمُ الْكَافِرُونَ. And who people will not govern? The context is the Torah. What Allah has revealed, they are the kafirun, the rejectors. فإنا أنزلنا التوراة فيها هدى ونور يحكم بها النبيون الذين أسلموا للذين هادوا والربانيون والأحبار بما استحفظوا من كتاب الله وكانوا عليه شهداء فلا تبخسوا الناس أشياءهم ولا تشتروا بآياتي ثمنا قليلا. So this says, surely we have revealed the Torah. Surely we have revealed the Torah. Two times Allah said, we have revealed the Torah. And it is guidance and light. In its guidance and light. The prophets, the prophets were Muslims, who were Muslim submitters to Allah. They governed by the Torah. It's in the book. I'm reading the verse from the Quran, not from Old Testament, the first 5 books. Genesis, Exodus, Leviticus, and Numbers, and Deuteronomy. 5 books, they say. This is Moses' book. They are separate books. So now I'm talking to the so-called label Muslim community. So now, about the Torah, Surah Jummah 62:5. مثل الذين حملوا التوراة ثم لم يحملوها كمثل الحمار يحمل أسفارا بئس مثل القوم الذين كذبوا بآيات الله والله لا يهدي القوم الظالمين. The example of those who have been carrying a Torah, the law, they did not carry it, is like an example of a donkey traveling with load. Bad is the example of the people who belie with the ayah signs of Allah, and Allah will not guide the people who are oppressors. Now Torah, I've told you before, was given to the prophets, so they were governing the Hadu. The Ahbar, the scholar, were governing the Hadu means those who became lenient. And the lords, they were governing those who became lenient, the Hadu. Now these Hadu, the people who became lenient, they did not hold the Torah as they should have held it. And these people, Allah said, their example is like of a donkey. Because they have got this book contains the Torah, this book contains the Torah, the law in the book. Torah means the law in the book. The word, where you read the Torah word? Where? Here. So the book contains the word Torah, the law in it. And people have memorized this book. They're holding like a... Why? Because they don't know that it says Torah is here. They are looking outside in the Old Testament. The first 5 books, Genesis, Exodus, and Leviticus, and Numbers, and Deuteronomy. Genesis is the first book of the Old Testament. Exodus is the second book. Leviticus and Numbers and Deuteronomy. The first 5 books of the Old Testament, the Jews, present day Jews. The present day Jews are saying this is Pentateuch, and these first 5 books is the Torah of Jews, of this present day Jews. This is Mathalul Ladina Hummil Torah. Hummil Torah, the people who have took up the hold of the Torah. Thumma lam yahmilu yahmiluha kamathil himari yahmalu asfara. They took up the Torah like donkeys. They memorize it, they don't know anything. They just memorize like donkeys. They're taking the load of Torah, they don't know where the Torah is. They don't look into this book. What is the book? Al-Kitab contains the Quran, the reading, the Furqan, the Alwa, the Sukh. There are 100 attributes of this book, including Torah, in the Injeel, in the Zabur, the Quran. This book, Al-Kitab, contains the Quran, the Furqan, the Burhan, the Sultan, the Hikmat, the Nazil, the Kalam, the Wahi. All this book is attributes of the book of Allah. So Torah is an attribute of the book. For Jesus, according to Genesis, Exodus, Leviticus, and Deuteronomy, they say Moses got the Torah. So the whole world said Moses got the Torah. The Quran doesn't say that God reveals the Torah to Moses. It's the Old Testament, these guys are saying it. Then to Jesus it says, وَيُعَلِّمُ الْكِتَابَ وَالْحِكْمَةَ وَالتَّوْرَةَ وَالْإِنجِيلِ. To Jesus, Allah says, Allah will give the knowledge to Jesus. Al-Kitab, the book. Al-Hikmah, the wisdom. The Torah and Injil. There's to Jesus. And these guys, gospel according to Mark, Matthew, and Luke and John, they say that Jesus preached the gospel. Ali Imran 3 and Ayah 48. This is, these verses are what was taught to him, what message he brought. The angel said, وَيُعَلِّمُ الْكِتَابَ وَالْحِكْمَةَ وَالتَّوْرَاةَ وَالْإِنْجِيلِ. And Allah, He will teach Isa, Jesus, Al-Kitab, the book, Al-Hikmah, the wisdom, At-Taurah, the law, Al-Injeel, the good news. Now there are, if you note in the verse, there are 4 words that Allah says, that angel said to Maryam, that Allah will teach him Al-Kitab, the book, Al-Hikmah, the wisdom, At-Taurah, the law, and the Injeel, the good news. Now 4 words, and we Muslims read the Quran and we see one. The whole Christian world, there are 4 gospel writings, and in those 4 gospel writings, that it is mentioned that Jesus preached the gospel. Jesus preached the gospel. Mark, Matthew, Jesus preached the gospel. Luke says Jesus preached the gospel. All the 4 gospel writers say that Jesus, peace be upon him, preached the gospel. And the Quran says Allah will teach him the knowledge of the book, the knowledge of the wisdom, and the knowledge of the Torah, the law, and the Injeel. 4. This is in the Quran. You are reading in the Quran. You are blindfolded by the Christians. Because what they say is according to gospel, according to Mark, Matthew, and Luke, and John. We are saying the same thing. We must now high time educate the Christians that Jesus not only knew gospel, he knew 3 more things. You are minusing that. You don't have it. These Christians don't have it. And believe me, what is the book? What is in the Quran? 230 times. The word Al-Kitab is mentioned in the book 230 times. And that book is being, if you read what the Quran says about the book, it explains what book is. I'm using the word Quran means reading. Every word in Arabic has a meaning. When we say a book, we means the word is written down. When we say Quran means what is being read. So when the book is mentioned in the Quran, 230 times the book is mentioned. The second word, Allah will teach him the knowledge of Al-Hikmah, the wisdom, is mentioned in the Quran 20 times. What is the wisdom? If we want to know what is the wisdom, the Hikmah, so you can search in the Quran the word Hikmah and then you read the passages. Allah explained what wisdom is. Similarly, the third word is the Torah. That is mentioned in the Quran 18 times, means the law. 18 times. If you want to know what is the Torah, the law, you read in the Quran the Torah, the law, you'll come to know what is the Torah. And finally, 12 times is mentioned in Injeel, gospel. If you want to read the gospel in the Quran, you'll come to know what Injeel, Jesus, Isa, peace be upon him, was teaching or preaching. Well, we should know that Isa alayhi salam was not, he knew of course the Injeel, but he knew also the book. What book? The book of Allah. And the wisdom, the hikmah of Allah. What is the wisdom of Allah? And the Torah, the law, and the Injeel. The Injeel, the good news.
So the Christians are telling the whole label Muslim, say gospel, he's got the gospel, he's got the gospel. And these guys say Torah, Torah. There are 10 attributes in the book of Allah, is referring to Moses. Moses, peace be upon him. So I am telling the Muslim community to stand up for their own. It's high time enough to listen to these Jews and Christians.
Now, Ali Imran 3:187. وَإِذَا خَذَ اللَّهُ مِيثَاقَ الَّذِينَ أُوتُوا الْكِتَابَ لَتُبَيِّنُنَّهُ لِلنَّاسِ وَلَا تَكْتُمُونَهُ فَنَبَذُوهُ وَرَاءَ ظُهُورِهِمْ وَاشْتَرَوْا بِهِ ثَمَنًا قَلِيلًا فَبِئْسَ مَا يَشْتَرُونَ. And when Allah took a covenant with those who were given Al-Kitab, the book, then definitely you will clarify it for mankind and you will not hide it, but they threw it away behind their backs and purchased with a little price. Then the bargain that they did was bad. Now Allah says, you think that you are just, a Muhammad is claiming something. What about you? Do you have a book? Come on, do you have a book? Allah is giving you a book or not? So for you, Allah says, for you. He says when Allah took a covenant with those who were given Al-Kitab, the book, that definitely you will clarify it for mankind. Those people who are listening to this course, at any time that the ayahs are revealed to you, it is the covenant of God, of Almighty to all of you. Those who listen to the ayahs, the book is given to you. Now the book was given to the prophets, then children of Israel, to human, now you. And Allah is taking a covenant to you. وَإِذَا أَخَذَ اللَّهُ مِيثَاقَ الَّذِينَ أُوتُوا الْكِتَابَ. We made a covenant to you, to whom we gave the book, or were given the book, that you will clarify for mankind. Think in yourself how much ayahs I've understood, how much ayahs I've shared with my family members, how much ayahs I've shared with my relatives, how much ayahs I've shared. First of all, believe in practice. Number one is believe in practice yourself, then is sharing. Not that you listen and talk about, you learn, memorize what Mama Shaikh said and go get. No. First you understood it, you believed it, and then you shared. Allah said, you clarify for mankind. There are billions of mankind. What Muhammad Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam in history, the Sahabas, they were sent to all parts of the world. It is the duty of every believer who possesses this book in his house. And this is a covenant of Allah to all people who have got the book. Allah has taken a covenant that we have taken the covenant to whom we given, to those who are given this book. That definitely you will clarify for mankind. You will not hide it. You will not hide it. But they threw it away behind their backs and purchased with a little price. Then the bargain that they did was, if you are understanding the message, it is your job. That's a covenant of Allah. You are asking guidance, man. If you are 5 times a day, you are asking for guidance. And if you don't know this and you don't do this, why are you saying Ihdina Sirat al-Mustaqim? All your prayers are gone waste. If you are asking Ihdina Sirat al-Mustaqim, guide us on the straight path 5 times a day, Sirat al-Ladina Amta alayhim, the path of those whom you blessed. I am reciting all these ayahs. And Allah said, now Allah has made a covenant to you that you will clarify for mankind. You don't want to talk about it. Clarify is far enough. You don't want to talk about it. You don't believe it. You don't practice it. And you're getting money out of it. So you must understand this.
That's fine enough.
Very good, brother. Very good.